the ice is not cold enough, I send it back.
He said that. He didn't actually send it back, though. He's too scared to be rude to waitstaff. Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrible Opinions podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Kenny.
I'm your succulent Chinese meal, Daniel.
Ooh, I'm your bacon in your cheeseburger sandwich, Ryan.
And this week, we're bringing you 2022's The Menu, which we definitely were not invited to.
Is that redundant saying cheeseburger sandwich?
Yep.
Okay, boyos. Let's get right into the menu here. What do you guys think about this movie before we watch this movie? You guys think we're going to like it?
I haven't seen anything. Is it Anya Taylor-Joy or is it Anna?
Anya, I believe.
I haven't seen her in anything bad except that Mutant.
I would argue that Mutant movie is underrated.
But I wouldn't say that she's bad in it or it's bad because fault, you know?
Are we talking about the actress with the anime eyes?
Yeah.
Yes. And
okay.
He's talking about the New Mutants. It's not perfect. What is? Me. But, yeah, I think it's underrated. I think time will treat that movie favorably. Ryan, was this on your radar at all?
This was not on my... not on my radar at all.
Okay, yeah, I'd seen a couple of the trailers for it before some other movies I went to in theaters. It always looked interesting. I didn't know... You could tell it was painting itself as a real, clever, classy horror movie. Like this wasn't a romp through the woods. This wasn't your slasher. This wasn't your, I don't know, fun little horror comedy. Like, no, we're here. We're making a little bit of a statement, but you're gonna have a good time while you watch it. And the IMDb rating kind of reflected that with a 7.2 out of 10. Those kind of things typically get favorable scores from the critics and from the audience.
Would you say this is Parasite-ish?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, you don't even have to argue, like, it's a conversation about class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. This might be even, this is very on the nose. I mean, they straight up say it.
This movie is an indictment on what we're doing right now.
What I'm doing?
Yeah, it is telling you...
Playing with my toes? Is that wrong?
That is wrong.
By playing with your toes, you take all the joy and love out of your body. By dissecting a movie so much to the point of absurdity, you remove the joy from the creator and you remove the magic of what that movie is.
Well, luckily, that's not really what we do. We badly attempt to tell people what it's about and make a few jokes along the way and maybe stumble into something, you know?
This is true.
That's a valid point, though, Ryan. That's actually like a conversation I was having with myself earlier today while watching the menu.
You're having a crisis, right?
I, too, talk to myself during movies.
It's a thought. It was a thought, like, as I'm starting, like, it was before they really went into it and watching it. It was actually good timing watching the menu because they kind of pointed that out at the end, too. I was like, man, this is the first movie that I think we did that I wanted to see, that I hadn't seen yet, that right off the bat, I'm watching it and I'm taking notes instead of just purely watching it. And, well, okay, this will be the second time that happened, because the last time it was Hellraiser, and I stopped in the middle of it, just started watching it. This time, I forced myself to keep taking notes, but it's just like, am I getting this much fulfillment out of this personally? Because I'm trying to make sure I actually have content, like something to talk about for this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm someone who, certain movies, like, I'm bad about, I'll distract myself a little bit lightly, just look down like my phone or something to listen to the dialogue. I'll do that sometimes. I'm guilty. So that wasn't too much of a different thing for me to actually look down real quick, type some notes, because I'm still directly focusing on the movie while doing it.
I took a picture of the movie while I was watching it.
That's what that's the joke, Daniel. I'm like, oh my God, he's taking little screenshots of the movie while he's talking, while he's watching it. The movie said, don't just taste it. Just watch it.
I did take a picture of another movie we're watching for a future episode, and you'll see that up on the Discord. But I had questions, and I needed you guys to see it, okay?
I'm sure.
That was for science.
When I watched the trailer, I thought it was going to be different. I didn't think the message of what the movie had was going to be the message. I thought it was going to be heavier. I thought there was going to be some cannibalism.
I thought they were going to eat a person.
I thought for sure they were going to eat the sous chef.
I thought we were going to go the Hannibal route.
I thought they would eat the grandma.
Oh,
I mean, they kept feeding her, which I don't think he had any kids, so she's not a grandma. She's just an old lady.
You can still call her grandma though, right? Because she's old.
No, I'm with you, Ryan. I thought the trailer was just the tip of the iceberg, but I think I was still amped up from Barbarian, where I'm now expecting to be misled about what we're seeing, and then I wasn't expecting things where they're listing off menu items as they're going and doing this stuff. I wasn't expecting some of those menu items to be nope, the menu item here was kind of just this event that happened, not a literal thing. So
yeah,
the sous chef thing, the mess, and he does this. It's oh, they're gonna eat them, and then they don't, and then they feed them something else there. I'm oh,
I thought that was the moment, or gonna be the first moment where we eat somebody.
What is this movie about?
Well,
synopsis. Someone do it. Go.
It's about the American dream.
This movie is about a bunch of rich people, or mostly rich, almost all of them very rich people, who have made reservations at an exclusive island restaurant that only serves 12 people, I think, at a time. And once they arrive, they learn that the chef has gone a little bit off, and their dining experience is going to be one to die for.
Ooh.
So, fun fact, the screenwriter came up with the idea of the film while he was in Norway. He took a fancy boat to an island to eat a dinner and realized that they're literally trapped there until the dinner's over.
Yeah. Oh,
I was like, I'd do that.
Oh, that was gonna be one of my questions for you guys. So I have done the boat ride to a place where you are now there until your hopefully non-psychotic host put you on a boat and take you back to a mainland.
Well, I specifically said we are not invited to things like this, and for good reason. I have plenty of notes as to how I would handle these situations, and I'm also getting kicked out of his dinner. He doesn't want to kill me either. He just wants me gone.
I would have spilt my drink, shaking it, as I do, because I've done that somewhere, a fancy place before.
Yes, you have, Daniel, and God bless you for doing it.
It needed to be done.
Someone needed to break that tension. I would have probably politely tried it and then made a run for it once shit started getting weird.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they even comment, why didn't you guys try to bum rush your kitchen? You probably would have made it.
Yeah.
Because they don't do shit themselves. Anyone in this movie going to be wearing an outfit or article of clothing that you would wish to own?
I was watching this, and I was hoping I have a Nightmare Before Christmas cooking apron, which is pretty sweet. I'm looking at their chef's outfits, but it's pretty
boring.
It's just pretty bland, boring.
The standard white.
Just standard white, nothing really to it. And then everyone else was just wearing mainly fancy, classy shit.
Yeah.
Aaron's jacket was dope, but it's a lady's jacket. So actually, maybe I could pull it off.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be the first time you had a lady's jacket.
Mm-hmm.
What made it dope?
I don't know, it just looked cool,
It smelled like pot, marijuana. Oh, okay.
Oh, it smelled like cigarettes. Hey, Dale.
What's up, playa?
This movie is dined and dashed you, sticking you with the bill.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Wait, wasn't it it dined and dashed me for the third time?
Yeah, this isn't the first time.
Well, it wouldn't have gotten to a third time.
Why not?
Are you sure?
You dined and dashed me once we're done. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Stand up for yourself. Be proud.
Actually, we're probably done after the first one because you're bad.
Oh.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. I'm going to change the question a little bit for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
All right. To watch this movie, you have to bring a date, but the movie tells you at the beginning that it's going to murder everyone in the theater. Do you still bring a date to this movie and watch it?
Can it be literally anyone?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
I think so. Oh.
But it's I'm willing to die, so this person also dies?
Do I have to
you are
go?
going to say you are the Tyler character. Yeah. I mean, the movie is very straight, very clear what's going to happen, and yet you still go to it.
I like me a lot, though.
I'm the Tyler character, but I'm much better than Tyler. But the only reason I'm the Tyler character is just because I also love food a lot, but I'm not pretentious about it.
That's the thing. I think out of most of these guys, we would be closer to Tyler, but we can point out and appreciate what's happening, but we celebrate the cheeseburgers because the cheeseburgers are fucking amazing.
I'm closer to Aaron.
We celebrate the just well done movies, but I don't think any of us would sit in the director's chair and go, all right, yeah, I can do this. Come gather around us. We have things to teach you.
I'm much more Aaron-ish.
I don't know. Look, we're going to come back for the cheeseburger multiple times, but we're only going to watch The Innocents once.
Because you die afterwards.
Cheeseburger will kill me in the long run.
Ooh. Hey, Kenny, do you think you'll be referencing other better movies while talking about this one?
No.
I don't know about better movies, but I do have some other references.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely have some other movies to try to recommend and maybe make some vague comparisons, but I doubt there's going to be anything better in this same vein. Like, I feel like it's going to be a fairly unique setup for
like
a story.
The beginning with the strangers waiting for the boat. That's Glass Onion.
Oh, Jesus.
It's also Mortal Kombat.
Oh, this is Mortal Kombat, clearly.
Whoa! I think that's where the similarities end. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to sit and listen.
And then there was a punch.
We got a knife fight on the level of the Raid 2.
We got a brutality.
Watching the chefs at work like that is like watching the geneticists at Jurassic Park work on the ride.
Good point. They actually went into fine detail on that and kind of trained the actors there on how to prep the dishes. So if anytime the camera was focusing at their particular prep station, it looked as accurate as possible.
That seems like something you would do for like a very small part of your audience, because I wouldn't fuck it.
Well, you kind of feel like this. There will be foodies that go watch this and they'll be like, yeah, you wouldn't cut with that knife. Why would you do that? Yeah. But okay, look, my notes right at the beginning is yes, we would never be invited to something like this. I love food.
I mean, you reserve it. You paid money. Not in this case, but normally.
In this case, he made the invitation. Yeah, he invited them. I love food as much as this guy, but in a much more laid-back way, because it seemed like he was already jizzing in his pants at the thought of it. It was very anal about it.
Obsessive.
Which guy?
Tyler. We didn't know his name at that point, but I said I always let the food just be magical. And then, all of a sudden, John fucking Leguizamo.
Yeah, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, baby.
Always excited to see John Leguizamo.
Luigi himself has been resurrected.
Okay, the pest. Okay, John Leguizamo.
I was kind of hoping he was playing John Leguizamo.
So he was actually apparently inspired by his bad experience with Steven Seagal.
I buy that. Yeah.
I think he could have ramped it up a bit then.
Oh, we definitely.
Yeah, he could have gone way up. We get Tyler, Anya, or her character name is, I just called her Anya because that's
Margot or Aaron.
They're sitting there talking. They're talking about this food adventure they're about to go on. She's sitting there smoking a cigarette. And Tyler, who's played by Nicholas Hoult, is freaking out. He's like, you got to stop smoking. That's going to ruin your palate. Like, you can tell he takes this shit, like, super seriously. And then as the other people are going onto the ship before them, he's looking at them and he's already judging all these other people as, like, fake foodies. Like, oh, God. Yeah, what are they doing here? And then he sees, like, one, like, food critic lady and he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe she's here. It's going to be a fucking night. And I'm like, this guy is such a fucking nerd for food. Why is she with him? It doesn't seem like they're compatible at all. He's already touting like, well, I'm paying for the meal, but he didn't say the meal, did he? Or did he just say I'm paying for it?
He might have just said he's paying for it.
That would make most sense.
Yeah.
But I can't recall either. He's also, I don't know if he was doing it early on, but I think within the first maybe 5-10 minutes, he's also telling her how she's prettiest girl here.
He's never been with someone like her before.
At first, what you think are very sweet, nice, trying to make her feel comfortable statements.
Yeah, like, you're welcome here. Like, don't let them put you down. Like, yeah.
Okay, so I got a question early on. So for Tyler and Margot, when she starts smoking, it's ruining her palate. Why does he care? Does he care because he knows what's the end game of this whole thing is going to be, that they're all going to die, and so he doesn't want her experience to be ruining that experience for herself? Or is she, because she's not into it so much and is ruining the experience for him?
I think it's both.
Yeah, we find out later that the first part is also a little bit true. He wants her to get his obsession, and he's so obsessed with himself, like he can't, like he's insulted that someone else would not take every measure possible to make sure they get to enjoy this as purely as possible. Like, this is a religious experience for him. Like, he loses it over this shit. Like, he is so far gone off the deep end that, yeah, if she's not getting the pure enjoyment out of it, it's going to affect his enjoyment. So the whole time, I'm just like, you guys do not make sense as a couple. They get on the boat, they're sitting down, kind of seeing all of our group there. We've got, we've got the three guys who I refer to as the...
I was going to go with Power Bros.
Yeah. Tech Bros.
Yeah, we've got John Leguizamo and his aide. We've got the obnoxious old rich white couple. We've got the obnoxious restaurant critiquer and the magazine editor.
Yes, her editor.
Right, and then am I forgetting any of the other customers there?
The old lady we see wasn't on the boat. She was already
she was there.
She was already there, and that's Chef Slowick's mother, played by the always fantastic Ralph. What is it? Fiennes? I've never actually looked into how to pronounce it.
Voldemort?
You think it's Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes?
We don't say is it Fiennes?
It's Voldemort. You guys are saying it wrong.
I don't know. We get to this island, and they're getting that tour. They're walking along, and there's 2 goats with them. Well, okay, before that, though, we have the introduction to Elsa?
Hostess.
Elsa, the main hostess. But that's when we get the awkward moment of when our main 2 characters are approaching there. She welcomes Tyler and then another woman's name, not Margot's. And he's like panicking. He's like, oh, no. It's not her. This is Margot. The other one canceled. And you can kind of see like right off the bat, Elsa's kind of like put off by that, like, okay, but she's professional. Like it's not like a freak out or anything, but you can tell.
Professional.
And she stays professional until she's not. But you can tell right off the bat, like, like this was an exclusive thing. Like he probably shouldn't have brought some other lady.
It in fact threw off the whole menu.
But then we're also like, is this your side piece? Like, what's going on here? How long have you known her? You didn't change the reservation? Like, that seems...
Right. I thought he had
reservation
picked up a
like
new
this would have been
girlfriend
made a long time ago.
But then they're led around the island getting the tour. Over out there, they're catching the fresh scallops that we'll be eating tonight. And here's our smoke shack where delicious meat is hanging for 152 days. Well, what happens if you serve it to us on the 153rd day? Does something interesting happen? Well, the bacteria might blossom into your bloodstream, killing you. Yeah, I'd say something interesting happens. Good thing we're professionals.
Have you ever gone on a, what would it be in the States? Like I guess a food tour or taking a cooking class maybe?
It's on the to-do list.
I've done one in Thailand, and when you go, they do something a little similar, but not as, so what they do is, okay, so they say, here's where we're going to be getting the food from that you're going to be cooking. So they take you to the wet market, start talking to you about how you should be selecting all your raw ingredients and all that. And then they take you to farm and they say, okay, now check out these goats or chickens or whatever. Now you want the chicken that, and go, and so on and so on and so on. But at the end of it, you're like, okay, I feel like this is filler and you're just killing time to create an experience around what the meal that we're actually going to make.
Yeah, I mean, you build up the story, right? You need a good story for your menu.
Or sometimes you just want a good meal.
I do like the idea. Like, I think I would enjoy that portion of it, though. Like, yeah, show me where you grow all this stuff. Like, let me know how fresh this crap is. That way I know why my stuff maybe will never be as good as it is while I'm cooking here.
More spicy, more sexy. The fact that I got food poisoning from that, don't worry about it, guys.
Wasn't it your cooking class, so wouldn't it be your cooking?
All right, I should say I got food poisoning 24 hours before when I ate it was some kind of chicken curry street food. That's what did it.
Was it delicious?
Oh, Kenny.
It was worth it.
Oh my God.
Tell me, Tyler.
Oh, you take the insert weird kitchen culinary device that I've never heard of, insert it here. They use one of those, and then they use another spice I've never heard of, insert that here, and oh my God. And then you dip your bread in it.
You were going to say dip your balls in it.
We can dip my balls.
Wait, you can get you can taste through your balls if you dip them in vinegar.
Yeah, go try that. Do you use a Paco Jet?
Paco Jet, that's what I was going to try to remember. A
Paco Jet.
What does a Paco Jet do?
It makes the snow type thing. So you put like milk in it, I guess, and it makes the fluffy. I've been reading over the trivia stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that we would probably catch on a second watch through, and I'm loving this. Like, this has been the most like fun little details of shit that I wouldn't catch because I don't know. But the goats had significant that they're walking with the goats. There's a thing called a Judas goat that is used to keep cattle and other livestock calm while they're being led onto the trucks into the slaughterhouses. And that's the diners being led into the slaughter by the goats.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a very smart movie. That's what I'm saying. Well, we understood it. We just didn't get all the nuance.
And it didn't stop us from enjoying it.
Yeah, I was very entertained.
It's a smart movie, but it's not a complicated movie.
It's not pretentious. Is it pretentious?
It kind of is telling you don't be pretentious.
Don't be. But in doing
so,
the
whole thing is pretentious.
It is.
The movie is pretentious because what it's showing is pretentious.
It's showing pretentious people.
Yeah.
But they're showing them as assholes.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it
does
knows.
everything that has a very overt message, does that make it pretentious? Like you're really trying to push a message on me?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I also think at this point that message though, like that's low hanging fruit. That's too easy to hit these days.
What is the message?
The working class is being subjugated by the rich upper class.
I don't think that's the message.
Pretty sure he straight up says that they work them to death. They take away your love of everything because all you're doing is working to serve them to a certain point, and they no longer you're working to serve people who don't even appreciate what you're doing. So they take the love out of anything you could possibly
but
had.
That is not a working class chef.
That's part of his issue, though, because since he's worked his way up from a working class thing, he hasn't had that enjoyment. That's why he's sad. He's working directly with these people now.
I would say he was happiest when he was working class, just flipping burgers.
Well, that they straight up show that.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a correlation between him and Margot.
Okay, Daniel, what do you think this movie is about?
So would you say the commercialization of art destroys the spirit of it? Ultimately leads to you doing useless bullshit for financial reason. Like all the... What do you call that? All the, like, the garnish? What do you call that stuff that's just making, like, the plates look pretty?
The garnish.
The garnish.
All that
You
bullshit.
nailed it, buddy.
You have to be super talented to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very time-consuming and difficult and expensive.
Yes, uh-huh.
But ultimately, once you stick that bullshit in your mouth, has nothing to do with the meal.
Okay.
It's about the experience.
So if you look at this movie from the perspective that when you're making a meal, if you're making a meal for the critic, then you have to add the garnish, and all of what you're saying is bullshit, because they're not critiquing you only on the taste.
They're critiquing on presentation and expectation.
Because they are hollow people, and they're jaded, hollow people who no longer get enjoyment out of just watching a movie, or just looking at a painting, or just eating a meal.
Yeah. No, and they very clearly point that out when we go to Richard and Anne, the old white couple. He goes up to him like, "You've been here 11 or 12 times.
11 times.
Most people dream about coming here one time.
Name one thing
that you ate last time. One thing, and he couldn't do it because to them it's nothing. They live so lavishly that nothing actually impresses them anymore, and that's part of what takes his love of cooking. And he tells Margot, like, I haven't wanted for anyone in a long time, and that's a sad thing.
Let's put this in our genre. The horror equivalent of this would be someone saying, I've seen X, Y, and Z obscure horror films. I've been to these horror film festivals. And then you ask them, what did you see? What was good? And they just stare at you and they can't remember. And then they name off something that was mainstream or something that actually came out in theaters.
Yeah, you're only going to see the big budget theatrical things, and you're not paying attention to the nuance of the smaller things that aren't getting pushed in your face. I kind of see that. And back on the whole, like, the garnish thing, like you saying it's all bullshit. You got to look at it, what they're doing here, and I'm sure places do this, is the form of storytelling. It's not just a meal. So he is straight up trying to take you on a journey. Now, I assume most of these don't end in murder, but I like to think something like this exists, and I would like to do it. Like, hey, the theme of our menu tonight, our 5-course menu, is we're going to take you through, I don't know, like a certain time and and place. Like, this is all, like, made with stuff from this time and place. And I would love that. Like, this dessert, like, hey, this is something that the people around here would have made. This fish is only caught locally here, and this is how they cooked it. Like, if you could run me through all that in a full, like, 5-course meal and make it not taste like shit, because I don't want to eat like a medieval person unless it's fake medieval times medieval.
You know what? I was actually, when you were talking about, like, presentation and story, I'm like, we have that. It's medieval times.
That's true. Now,
yeah.
I'm a fucking hypocrite because medieval times is dope.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah, hell yeah,
times.
we're going to be, yeah. If you want entertainment and you want story with your dinner, I mean, medieval times.
I went last year. It's still fantastic. Yeah. I don't know. Would me personally still pay for something like this? Like, God, I can only imagine how much it actually costs and come out satisfied if there's a Taco Bell nearby afterwards so I can actually eat and get full. Because that's a big note that comes up a lot here. Do any of these high-end places have portions that are Kenny-sized?
Well, he said he measured it out so that it would be satisfying by the end.
Bullshit. The only way that makes you full is
by
if they
kidney
do stretch it
size, you
out.
mean American.
Well, yeah.
Before they start the meal, they say it takes 4 hours. The whole eating process is 4 hours?
And that's the only way I buy it. Because if I am pecking at something and I actually have to eat slowly, I do get fuller. The problem is I shovel that shit. Like, I eat. Like
no
I said,
bread?
you taste
Fuck
the food.
you!
Oh my god.
You're not a peasant. This is
I would
commoner
get
food.
bread.
No, you're not getting bread. No.
I wanted somebody to ask for ketchup so fucking bad. So
yeah, I would like you to make me a well-done steak.
Do you have any A1 sauce?
I love how so far a lot of this we're just talking about our life experiences around high-end dining and what we think of it, and not actually what's going on in the movie.
Yeah, but there is something to the idea of letting someone who is passionate about what they do and not just do their thing, and you taste it and see. Go on the ride.
But what scares me, though, is I have a trash palate, and if I'm paying $200 for something, and they're making stuff that, it's probably all right, but it's not to my taste, I'm going to be a little
That's why you got to always have your pocket goldfish, right?
Some pocket goldfish.
How mad would that chef have been if at some point she just reaches into her purse and starts pulling out some goldfish crackers and numbing down?
That actually was on the menu, but not this course. All I'm saying is we would not be invited to this thing. That's the moral of the whole opening conversation here is we're not welcome there. So we get all our people set up in the dinner hall here. Everyone's at their table. Margot again gets seated where the other lady's name is on the card. It's like, that's still very awkward. We get right off the bat, what's the first dish? Did anyone write down each course? I believe it's like oysters with some like weird shit on top of them.
Talking about that was on the boat.
Oh, that's right. That's before they even got there. So that's the first time Tyler was jizzing in his pants. And Margot's like, I prefer just the oyster. The rest of that stuff. And he's like, oh, well, you got to have it for the mouthfeel. She's like, she ain't into that.
Don't say mouthfeel. And then you know what he does?
Don't say mouthfeel.
As mouthfeel again.
Mouthfeel. And it's like, oh, they're so cute. They've been together for a long time. So what's the first meal there? Is that weird, like, black ring with the powder?
Yeah, and the little
melon ball thingies?
Very small melon balls, I think.
So it's very intense, okay? We're in there. The chefs are all like, all the sous chefs and shit are all machines. They're back there working. The actual main chef comes out. And he's all business. Chef Slowick, he's like saying things. They're all like, yes, chef, like some sort of cult. He claps and everyone like stops, stands out, pays attention for a second. So he starts to address everyone there and then they go right back to work. I don't know. It's very intense. It would make me uncomfortable.
This is very cultish. Situation. I was getting cult vibes whole time.
Tyler's over there talking about, oh yeah, they had to have made this with a Paco jet. Yeah, you certainly know your stuff, Mr. Tyler. And he's like, oh, he knows who I am. It's like, yeah, we know who all of you are.
And when they go back to sit down, Aaron calls him out and says, you didn't ask his name.
He kind of waves her off.
He's like, yeah, that doesn't matter.
He's like, yeah.
Peasant.
And that's another point against Tyler. I'm like, oh, God, this guy's a fucking asshole. And I like Nicholas Hoult, so it bothers me that he's an asshole.
At this point, it's clear Margot doesn't belong here.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, she's the only one here who just seems not to give a shit. Or everyone else are really into what's happening.
Yeah, all the pretentious bullshit just goes right over her head. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think she was just hungry.
Do you remember when Elsa was like, and, we gel. She's like, they gel? We gel.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I liked that. Yeah, so we can already tell Tyler's going to be that pretentious fan, like, sitting there, like, I don't know, like at the Marvel movie, be like, well, actually, Spider-Man wouldn't do that. He would do this while the whole movie's going on, or, all that, but he's doing that, but with the chef's cooking. Yeah, I would be very annoyed. I would not enjoy eating with him. Chef Slowick says, welcome to Hogwarts. I mean, Hawthorne.
Well, he does like attempt to put a sorting hat on her at one point to be like, all right, are you going with the peasants or are you going with, well, I guess, or what, the upper class?
Are you going with
the bourgeois?
Are you giving the was it the takers or the givers?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, the takers or the givers. See, he's sorting them. It's all still Voldemort. Tonight, do not eat the food. Taste the food. I'm like, I don't know what that means, man. All I do is eat.
Well, I mean, I could explain it to you, but I feel obvious.
Yeah, but who's got time to taste when I gotta eat? I ain't got time to taste.
I hear you.
Over there, Tyler's over there explaining like, oh, these are the oysters or scallops or whatever they caught earlier today, and the chef's like, excuse me? And he's all shamed, like, oh, fuck, teacher's mad at me, like, my hero's mad at me. It's like, yes, they are the ones from earlier. Like, fuck up, man. So at this point, I'm just like, every time Tyler jizzes over food or something, take a shot.
Oh.
That's the drinking game for this movie. Because every time I was dying. It's hilarious. What was it he first started crying about? Was it after he got shamed? Or was it when he was eating something? That dish is supposed to be like, this is from the ocean, and it's got the purified frozen seawater.
Oh, yeah, very thalassic.
Well, as it melts, yeah, and it'll add to the flavor. And
this
like
is where I wrote down, I'm hearing a lot of pretentious bullshit.
Oh my god. Have any of
that's
you read I guess food critics are a thing. They must be.
I guess.
I have, right. I've never read a food critic's review of movie. I've never read a Yelp. I don't care. But like this movie, if I go to a place and I find out they have a hamburger, the first thing I order is the hamburger to see if you can get this right. I'll come back and get something else.
And then I will order the spaghetti.
And then I will order the goat eye.
Yes. God, I love good goat eye. At this point, I wondered, would it be offensive if I asked for a Frosty Coors Light?
Well, yeah, because they're bringing you the wine, and he's telling you...
It's been specifically paired.
And he's telling you how it has a faint scent of longing and regret.
He does say one of them has, elements of...
dirt.
Elements of barnyard funk.
And one of them, he said, it's not from a vineyard, it's from a vine.
A single
fucking vine.
Ooh, is that good, guys? I'm not a wine guy.
I don't know.
You drink a lot of wine.
Wine is tasty.
Yeah, but do you care if it's from a single vine?
No.
And it was a 2014. It
was a good year, dog. Think about it.
It could be a good year.
One thing that happened in 2014.
Yeah. It rained.
It did.
That is good. Some places need the rain.
The vine needs the rain.
He starts talking about bread, and I'm like, this is where he makes the fucking brood witch.
Oh!
I was like, this is gonna be the brood witch. And then I'm dying laughing, like, nope, condiments. Condiments only. No sandwich, just straight up sauces. You guys are too rich
I picked the tomatoes off. They're gross.
You can't do that.
I just did.
This is like the height of, if you want pretensive bullshit, this is it at its height. Where it's like,
yeah, this was...
You know what? No, just the sauce.
Because
of what the bread represents.
For poor people.
And you're not. Therefore,
you're very rich.
Amazing.
Dude, but
and Margot's like, he's making fun of you. He is making fun of all of you right now.
Oh my, and I don't think they, like, and they're like, oh my god, that's so smart. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, the foodie's like, oh, interesting. The food critics like, oh
that's
my gosh.
The equivalent of walking into the art gallery and seeing an empty frame.
And having paid $100,000 for it.
Yeah, the white wall or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that was.
That's the shit Banksy would do, and then you buy it and it explodes.
Shreds itself. Yeah. The food critic's like, oh, I make my own bread, rustic, peasant style. I make my own yeast from apples, and her magazine guys are just like hanging on to everything.
Of course you do.
He is massaging her ego so fucking hard. Tyler's over there just going to town on the sauces, and he's like, hey, you need to eat. And she's like, Margot's like, no, I'm not going to eat just sauce. And every time these people are saying this stuff, the chef is perking up. Like, he's hearing
He's
all
listening,
this.
yes. Because the food critic complains about one of the sauces.
The immersion.
The emulsion?
The emulsion is broken.
It's broken. Okay, question.
What'd that mean?
I don't know what that means.
So I'm fairly certain, and this
would
is
that be kind of like if you, like on an egg, would that be like the egg yolk being broken?
I think it's more about like the sauce is separating a little bit. The sauce, so Tyler's over there going to fucking town on the sauce. And yeah, he's telling Margot, like, hey, you gotta eat. And she's like, I'm not gonna eat just sauce. And he's like, well, you got to. And she's like, no, I don't. This whole time he's been telling her she needs to like this, how she needs to like it. And I'm over there getting pissed. Like, you don't tell me how to enjoy my food.
Right.
And eventually he's like, well, I'm just going to take it then. And he goes to take her sauce and he knocks over the wine glass. And so he's now embarrassed himself again in front of his idol.
It's terrible business.
The diversity douches are like, hey, we find out more about them. Yeah.
Yeah. We find out that they're working they say working with the man who funds this whole thing. And they want some bread. All right. So they call over what's her name?
Elsa.
Elsa.
All right, so they let it go. That's basically what she tells them to do. They call over Elsa. It's like, oh, this is funny and all, but bring us some bread. And she very politely, professionally says no. And they're like, and then they throw out, well, do you know who we are?
Yeah, I didn't want to do this, but you know who we are. Yeah.
Now, Daniel, if you're asking if these people exist, they do.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because I've seen this in restaurants and other places.
I've seen this, and these are piss ants compared to what these people are.
Does it ever work? Yes. In other restaurants, well, in other circumstances, they would get their bread.
It would work here too, if not the finality of the menu.
Right.
Right, because he no longer is chained to that company.
It's under new ownership, yeah.
The confidence of Elsa throughout this entire night that she's not going to get just fucking punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like, even when it's gotten to the point where they know their lives are in danger, she's still standing out in the middle of all these people by herself. The security guys or whatever can't get to her instantly. She still straight up will tell these people, no, we're not doing that. That's not part of the menu.
Oh, and then
sorry,
she whispers into one of the dude's ear, you're going to eat less than you desire, but more than you deserve.
Yes.
Oh, a storm is brewing.
You donkey.
Yeah, you donkey.
You donkey.
Okay, now this will be my one stupid reference. You donkey. Yeah, I think maybe someone mentioned this is something Chef Ramsay said in a Hell's Kitchen episode at one time. I'm pretty sure.
That's his trademark. I think he's using it in commercials now too. Yeah, that's the main insult. Yeah, this is also where we got Margot standing up to the chef because he's like, you need to eat the food.
She's all like, no, I don't.
That's the first time she kind of really stands up to him.
Okay. All right. So go back a little bit to Tyler, where Tyler is at. It's after he's interrupted the chef or spilled his wine, and he's asking Margot, do you think he likes me? And Margot's telling him,
why do you care?
It doesn't matter if he likes you or not.
You're paying him for a service.
You're paying him to feed you.
Kind of how, like, it doesn't matter if she likes him because he's paying her for a service.
He's paying her to be there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not what this is about. This is a job. It's a service that is being provided that you've paid for. That's where it begins and ends. It doesn't matter what the feelings about it are.
And that's one of those things on a second watch through. There's so many things that are hinting at their actual relationship. At this point, we'll go ahead and just say it. Margot is a high-class escort. You're my guest here. You need to come with me and do this. Act happy. Maybe sit there while I jerk off and you tell me I'm a good boy. And
maybe
you're my daughter,
say...
you love me.
You're sugarcoating that one a little bit. It's a little darker.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get into that one.
We'll gloss over that later.
Stepdad, no, but not even stepdad.
No, it's just dad.
And it's worse because his wife's over like, doesn't that remind you of our daughter? And he's like, no.
Oh my
God. Keep looking over here.
When they said that, I was thinking, oh, maybe she is their daughter, and they just haven't
That's what I thought too, Daniel.
Forever. But no. Oh, that's gross.
Oh. Do you guys remember when the chef brought the food critic a giant bowl of
yeah.
Said, hey, here's a big old bowl of the
Here's another one. You donkey.
You donkey.
Chef comes back out for the next course, and he's telling a story, and he's pointing out this old lady over there who I refer to as Murder Grandma because I thought she was gonna be, and that's his mother. And she's over there, and he's like, she's drunk already, and well,
as she is most of the time.
As my father was when I was a boy, we had...
This is Joker's origins.
Yeah, we had Taco Tuesdays, right? Taco Tuesdays. Everybody loves that.
Everyone laughs. Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah, because, this is classy. People think tacos aren't classy.
We've seen the Lego movie. We know.
Yeah. So they're telling this wonderful family story of how dad comes home drunk and starts strangling mom with a telephone cord. Telephone cord, and our young chef has to stab him in the thigh with a pair of scissors.
Although he says
to get him to stop.
He should have stabbed him in the throat.
But we don't think when we're kids. So this next meal is tacos with a chicken thigh that's braised or some other shit with a little pair of shears stabbed right in the thigh. And I'm like, oh my God, that is the best tie-in meal to a story I have ever heard.
Served on top of a black phone cord.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And this is another part where we kind of get the depth that they've gone through to look into these people. On the tortillas, are laser engraved pictures and whatnot that have something to do with each one of the diners. You guys remember what all the stuff was?
For the old couple, we've got the pictures of the old man with different younger women. They might have been Margot, maybe not. I couldn't entirely tell.
Yeah, we couldn't tell. I like to assume it was. That would be just a funny coincidence that she was there anyway at the same time as him.
I don't think it was Margot, because then they would have known who she was.
Possibly. Good point. So with the Power Guys, it's their financial record showing that they're like stealing money from companies somehow, or
well, I think it's the whole company is
the whole company. They're
money.
Faking financial records.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Enron.
Enron, Ron. What was what was Leguizamos?
Leguizamos was a movie he did that was really bad.
Oh my god! Okay, this was the one that felt really petty to me.
It was.
But you get it though. You get it. Look, I work 6 to 7 days a week sometimes, depending on what time of year it is and how busy it is. So
sure.
I get one day off sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to finally watch this movie I've been waiting to watch or something like that. And you put it on and it's an absolute dud, which doesn't happen for me.
So on your tortilla, you're putting where, dear?
Where Deer would probably be on there, or Hellblazers.
Oh,
ooh, well,
yeah. So
I disagree with both those choices.
Come on now. Well, so I can understand.
I could have spent my one day off enjoying some other thing. I could have watched, I don't know, The Thing.
Could have watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, you know?
I watched that yesterday.
There you go.
Yeah, your one day of literal freedom, and it was shit.
It was absolute trash. Like, what's the worst movie you can think of that you went to theaters to watch?
Says
it's Mission to Mars.
He says it's not that the movie was bad. It's that he could see that an artist had lost all passion for his craft and was just going through the motions, right?
Yes.
And it was still wasted his one day off top of that. So that is the most petty one, though. That is...
Yeah.
But I laughed. It was funny.
Oh my god, I was dying. And then the food critic, it was pictures of restaurants where she had basically caused them to close down because she gave...
Of her bad critique.
It's important to note that she was also an early reviewer of the chef's work that actually helped push him to fame. And he even says, like, you even stroked my ego once.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to get like, okay, these people are here for a specific reason. Everyone but Margot.
That was going to be my question. So Tyler, on his tortillas, he has been trying to secretly take little phone pictures of the food, even though they told him, don't do that.
Don't do it.
And so now on his tortillas are images of him taking the photos. But for Margot, was there anything on Margot's?
No. And that's the thing. I don't think there was stuff for all the guests. Like, there wasn't anything for,
something for, the table.
The table,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Margot is nothing. But they're freaking out, like, they can't just take pictures of you without their consent. And he's like, do you think he's really mad at me now because I took pictures? And it's like, dude, I mean, he probably hates you. I'm just saying, I hate you. You're over there not enjoying the experience. You're not living in the moment, man. Put the camera away. All I'm saying is quit taking pictures of all of your food. Hey, if you want to take an occasional picture sometime.
Okay, a hot take. I don't give a shit about your food. I don't internet stalk people either, so I don't know how this works.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying, look, hey, if you cook something and you're very proud of it and it's impressive, or
if you made it and plated it, it's your creation, then I agree.
I like to take pictures of the food while it's in my mouth and I'm chewing it.
I'd watch that. Actually, you could probably record that.
Well, it's on my OnlyFans account if you guys want to see that. So,
do you squish it between your toes?
Afterwards, yeah, I swallow it and then I regurgitate it like a birdie, and then in between the toes it goes.
You gotta feed that manifested rage that is living under your bed, so I understand.
Despite
I don't know what that means.
Rage, I'm still just a weird bird.
Well, actually, nothing can be under my bed because my mattress is on the floor.
You'd be surprised. At this point, though, I'm rooting for the chef. I'm like, hero chef. He's out here taking out assholes. I still didn't understand what was going on with Leguizamo. Like, it's just a picture of a movie he was in that he said he was bad. Like the scamming bros over there. Yeah, it's clear. I seen Cayman bank accounts. It's right off the bat.
You
stealing money.
You instantly know what that is. Yeah.
Right. You see the restaurant review people, critic, and it's like, yeah, she's trashed a couple places. You see the married couple, and you see the husband's been cheating. So it's like, you understand, like, okay, these are all being put up like, hey, we think you're bad people. And then Tyler's over there. He's just a little overindulgent in his love for the food, so he might just be annoying.
His thing was that he takes the mystery out of the craft.
Right, we got that later, but I'm saying at this point, though, I only know 3 of the tables are definite.
Oh, so at this point you thought he was just annoying. That was the problem.
Yeah, he was annoying the whole time, but like I had no idea what was going on with John Leguizamo. Like, you made a bad movie. Why did we have a print? Like, maybe he's gonna get out okay because he's just in a shit movie.
Sorry, you die.
Tyler's losing his fucking mind eating these tacos after he calls Margot a child.
Yeah.
They don't have it. Like, there's no way they have a relationship after this, which, well, it's paid for. We didn't know that yet, but he calls her a child, and then he immediately starts eating the tacos, and he's like losing his shit. And it's like, you can't just call her a child and then expect her to get excited about you eating these tacos that are amazing. I could do that, but he can't.
Sure, and she tells him he has to apologize to her right now, but he doesn't do it, and so she loudly gets up and tries to leave.
And Elsa is like, where are you going? She's heading for the silver door in the back. Ladies' room? It's over here.
And then the chef goes in. Inappropriate.
Yeah, while she's smoking out the window, though. That's still inappropriate. That doesn't excuse it, but I'm just saying. She's in there smoking. Yeah, he's like, why aren't you eating my food? I don't like it when people don't eat my food. It wounds me. So he's taking it personally. And I get it. You put a lot of work into something like that. I get it. But also, okay, this is when I had a thought, guys.
Yeah.
Imagine this same setup, but it's like a Swamp People chef version of this. And it's just like, it's just Gator. All of it is Gator. We're just, first course, Gator.
Oh, you're saying every course was Gator?
Yeah, second course, yeah, it's Gator.
But maybe Gator. I can't do your accent. Gator. Maybe it's some Gator. With some pin pasta.
Yeah, Cajun
first one
Gator
is
pasta.
Gator soup, maybe. Do you make soup with
Gator
soup?
Gator balls.
Gator ball soup. Nice. Then it's Gator over a pasta, and then a Gator a la mode.
Yeah, so what's the cuisine? What's the cuisine that makes this whole setup the most ridiculous?
Kenny, you're basically describing Iron Chef.
Yeah.
I love Iron
That's true.
Chef.
Where the secret ingredient is
yeah.
Gator.
The secret ingredient is ew.
Kumiyasha. I was born of Gator. Sorry, I lost it a little bit right there. But at this point, I was also thinking, I wonder if she faked being interested in Tyler, because clearly she's not interested in all this food. I still don't know that she's actually an escort. So I'm like, did she have someone previously die on this island? Is this a thing they do? Like, routinely bring people there and kill them? So is she there because she had a friend die, and she's trying to get there to figure it out, like to infiltrate it?
Okay.
That's where I thought the movie was going at this point, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I didn't have that thought.
I did not expect Tyler's turn as, like, what he knew before he came there. That's fucking insane.
I mean, if you're paying... Well, obviously on the second watch, but if you're paying attention to him, he doesn't really react to any of the weird shit that's happening.
So, and I noticed that on the first watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all about the food.
When we get to the mess... And then later we get to the old guy getting his finger cut off.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just tasting the food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And that's the thing. He was the only one, we'll say that, he's the only one told before this entire thing what was going to happen to an extent.
I know. I think it was more to an extent. I think he was told exactly what was going to happen. You're all going to die.
I don't think he's given the menu.
Maybe wasn't he given the menu? Right. But
he's given the menu.
But he's told, like, this is the experience you're going to have.
He's told the ending.
We'll talk about why that's makes him such a much more like huge douche than we thought before when we get to that later. But now we are up to the mess. As soon as they rolled out that drop cloth, what did you guys think was going to happen?
Someone was dying.
And someone was getting eaten.
The eating thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my mind went right to Hannibal.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You can't roll out a drop cloth in a movie and not expect a death. So yeah, they roll out this drop cloth, they start putting out all this like leaves and stuff around it, and then the chef calls over his sous chef Jeremy, and he's tearing down Jeremy in this most like
at first he's building him up. Jeremy's very good.
He's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, he's not excellent.
He's not great.
But he'll never
be great.
No matter how hard he works or tries, he'll never be as good as me. He'll never have my talent. He'll never be great. And he's like, the whole time he's like, you agree?
Yeah.
Jeremy's like, yeah.
Jeremy, like, yes, chef. And he's tearing up this whole time. Like, he's, so, and then they're like, well, this, do you want my life? Like, he's like, you've had to sacrifice everything and blah, blah, blah to get here. Do you want my life? Like, not just my skill, not my ability to do all this. You want my life. And he's like, no, chef.
Right. I think the chef before this has been saying, like, how his life is shit.
Right, so you've wasted your life.
Yarp, yarp.
And then they're like, okay, and this dish is called the mess from Jeremy.
I thought it was going to be a throat slit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a gun, just because that's not a kitchen utensil. I thought it would have been a...
You don't have a gun in your kitchen?
Not anymore. I don't fight giant lobster for dinner anymore.
I was going to say, well, how do you put down the head of cabbage when it's coming at you?
An undead head of cabbage. Blows his brains out. Joshua interrupted me.
Jeremy?
Blew his brains out. Jeremy interrupted me.
Me?
Who's fucking Joshua?
You're part of the fucking problem. You don't know his goddamn name.
Oh god. Yeah, he blows his brains out right there on the thing. Everyone's freaking out. Well, most people are freaking out. A couple of them are like, oh wow, that's all part of the performance. Like, that's great. Like, this is so fake. John Leguizamo's over there like, oh, that, like, he doesn't buy it because, well, he's in movies. He's like, that doesn't look fake to me. Is he fucking dead? They just come out, they just casually wrap him up. And I'm like, yeah, they're going to take him back there. They're going to cook him up and all that. They don't do that. But they bring out our next dish, which is, I think it was some like bone marrow and some other shit that looked really good.
I forget, at what point do they lower the financial backer of this place into the water?
Okay, so that...
I think it might have been before?
No, it's after that.
It's after this, okay.
So Jeremy shoots himself, they roll him away, I laugh and go, another dish we can't eat. Bullshit.
You hungry?
Right? And then I'm like, well, who's the new sous chef? They don't really announce who the next in command is, and now Tyler at this point is totally gone, like he's absorbed in this whole thing, and that's when I always struggle with this word, the sommelier, the wine person. I'm uncultured, Brian. You've had a lot of wine. Yeah, how do you pronounce it?
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this.
I'm gonna do a hot take here. You ready?
Yeah.
This is a job that should not exist.
A wine pairing expert?
Sommelier, I think, or something like that. I don't fucking know. They have those for more than just wine. There's like beer ones. There's Kool-Aid ones, probably. At this
I'm
point.
with you,
Now,
Daniel.
I would be a Kool-Aid one for sure. I can tell you which Kool-Aid you want with your chicken rice for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, let's unpack this, Daniel. Hold on.
Right,
At first I'm with you, but then I'm like, but if you have knowledge of what would make this meal better,
yeah,
and it improves my experience, does that not provide value?
If you believe in that sort of crap, I still think everyone is so absolutely unique in their own taste that there will be those people that are out there that will just buy it hook, line, and sinker, like, oh, you're telling me this is better with this, so it must be. I don't subscribe to that. I am the only person who has my particular taste. You come out here and tell me this fucking $500 bottle of wine is a perfect pair for this cut of meat, and I'm telling you this $5 white Zinfandel is going to go down better for me with this steak. That doesn't make me wrong.
And it's easier to take home because it comes in a box.
That doesn't make me wrong.
I was half
correct.
That was a half joke, right? Because obviously, if you're doing something and it provides value, then it's a worthwhile thing and it can be a job, right?
Yeah, I mean, people get value out of some stupid.
Like
jobs,
if people get value out of this and they want to give me $5, yeah, give.
Of course.
Sure.
So
having said that, I take it back. Give me money.
There's the toxic version of that where you go and they say, oh, this wine must be paired with this so that you can get the best experience. And the better version of that would be Kenny saying, I like XYZ. I'm going to order this. What do you think? And then them saying, okay, based on if you like more sweet things, you go with this one. If you want it more bitter, you go with this one.
I guess.
Yeah, which one of these wines is closer to a frosty Coors Light?
Let me just get you a frosty Coors Light in a frozen glass mug.
Oh fuck! I hope.
I guess my thinking comes from an apocalyptic
in a frozen shoe.
In an apocalyptic scenario, this is a useless skill.
Oh yeah, we're not inviting them to our apocalypse.
And he ain't coming in the bunker.
Most jobs are useless skills in a apocalypse scenario.
Sure.
I still think I'm the most useful in an apocalypse scenario.
Finance? Get out of here.
You get your own movie, man. They made it. It's the Postman.
You son of a bitch.
Not Sean Connery. God damn it.
Kevin Costner.
It was Sean Connery.
I was also going to say Kevin McLeod, but I don't think anyone would actually know.
Kevin McAllister.
The long lost McLeod. If someone comes up to me and offers me a drink with Barnyard Funk, I'm going to assume it's kombucha and I'm going to throw it out.
All I'm saying is it's got a faint scent of longing and regret. What does that smell like?
Take a sniff, buddy.
It smells like your shoe.
Take a sniff.
My shoe is a faint scent of longing and regret. No,
that's how I describe it to people when I'm talking to them about your shoes.
John Leguizamo's assistant is over there like, hey, you said you know the chef. Go talk to him. He's like, I don't actually know him. She's like, why would you say that? Because I'm a name-dropping whore. That's why.
Yeah.
They bring Margot gets special treatment again. She gets brought to the kitchen. The chef requests her presence. And that's when he's dropping the, hey, I don't think you're one of them.
He's like, I've cooked for a lot of Margos. You're no Margot.
You're not a Margot. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that
I mean, he's right, though. She is wearing a persona.
She's wearing a persona. I thought you were going to go with, she's wearing a dress which doesn't really match her military black boots.
Oh, see, I didn't notice that. But sure.
Those are nice boots.
They're functional.
Yeah, functionable and
fashionable. Function and fashion. Yes.
This is where he's using the sorting hat on her. You're either one of them or you're one of us. I think you're one of us. And she says, if I decide to be one of you guys, does that mean I get to live?
No.
Nope.
We're all dying tonight. And she says, what does it matter? And he says, it all matters. Of course it matters. And she's like, no, it doesn't. And he's like, you've got 15. Well, after this next course, we got a 15-minute break. So I'm setting the timer. That's how long you have to decide if you're with us or with them, the takers or the givers. And she goes back to the table, and Tyler's freaking out because first he asked if he could go with her, and they're like, no.
Protein or veg?
Yeah, do you get a protein or a veg? A protein or a veg?
He wants to know, yeah, because he's out all on her, like, why did you get a special cooking session with him? He thinks he's taught her something about cooking, right?
Which he needs to learn some things about cooking.
And then she just ups up and slaps him across the face, and he still repeats it. Protein or veg?
What does that mean?
Is it a protein, like a meat of some sort?
What?
I'm guessing.
For the cooking, what he demonstrated or helped her learn about. Everything has to be about cooking.
Yeah, he thinks she got a special treat. Would you drink that tea?
Yeah.
Remind me what the tea was made of?
I don't know. It had a whole bunch of like random flowers and leaves and shit in it. Like it looked like a fucking aquarium.
Water.
I mean,
it had water.
I have. So I had just had a tea of the monk fruit.
Tea talk time, everybody.
Oh, tea talk time.
Tea talk time.
Buckle up. Grab your crumpets.
Normally I like, the twigs, the flowers, the hua cha.
Whatever. Yeah. Pretentious. Yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, but no, this one tasted watered down melted ice cream.
That doesn't sound good to me.
It wasn't good.
Okay, glad we're on the same page.
The first it wasn't good the first 3 cups.
It wasn't good the first 5 times, but then after a while I realized it's all I have. So
I better love it.
But then it never became good. It became okay.
Kind of like this podcast.
Wait, we're okay?
Well, hey, we'll get there. I'll take it.
Look, okay, this is when we get to Angel Doug.
We are Jeremy. We're getting to okay.
Oh, but we'll never be great.
We'll never be great.
Oh shit.
I'm great.
So you got to be okay. You got to be okay with the life.
When he's not. Right.
He's not.
He's not. Why did Angel Doug get strung up? So Doug, the owner of the company, who, is technically the boss of the chef and all that, like they own the island. Why did Doug get strung up as a guardian angel outside?
We don't do substitutions at Hawthorne's.
Yeah, even the owner can't get a substitution without getting strung up. So that's why I know I was close to death that night.
So this is where the movie is like, this is how you kill an artist's vision. You have too many cooks in the kitchen, or you have too many producers coming in.
And there are a lot of cooks in that kitchen.
Too many outside people who are not doing it, not creating it, but telling you how to do it.
No, Dan, there's only one chef in that kitchen.
Right, but so like you got the main chef. It's important. You can have all these cooks, but it's important to have a main cook that they're basically a slave to.
But then they got Doug there, who's also trying to influence the kitchen. That's when you get not good stuff.
Yeah, just let him cook. Let him cook,
Let him cook. Literally.
Yeah, literally let him cook.
Don't worry, I'll bring us back. Angel Doug gets slowly lowered into the ocean, and he's sitting there like, listen, and then he goes all the way under, and then he's like, quiet, and he's like, and now I'm free, and everyone's still freaking out because now the diversity douchebags are like, that's literally the owner of the company.
Now, did you think that he was gonna be dropped into like piranha infested waters?
Yes, Daniel, maybe a shark or I thought it was gonna be a James Bond thing where he's lowered down, and then as he's lowered down, then we see like fins coming at him. Spoilers if we ever get around to it. Giant crab claws come out and just rip him to shreds.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's unchained. Mission.
He's untethered.
Now.
Everyone can go home now.
Oh, but actually, we are going to go outside now.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, just like Barbarian.
They're leaving the rest. And what is it? It's time for Man's Folly.
So our chef pulls up one of the female sous chefs basically says, it lets her talk, and she says, oh, I forget how long ago it was, but the chef tried to have sex with me, and I said no. And then again, he tried to have sex with me, and I said no. And then for 8 months, he didn't fire me. He left me in the kitchen, but he never made eye contact with me or talked to me directly because he can do that.
He's the star. I thought he was going to die.
You thought she was going to kill him?
Yes, because before this, he's the only one who's been speaking, basically, besides for Elsa.
And then now that the voice has been given to someone else, time for him to step aside.
And he's standing in front of her, and I'm like,
and she has a pair
of scissors, I think.
Especially because it's revealed later on that this is everyone dying is her idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that or not, but she says it was.
I believe her. She seems jazzed about it.
Yeah, I think that was maybe just to shut them up, but I could still see it being her idea. But she stabs him low. Did you guys think he got stabbed in the dick?
Yes.
I didn't think that.
I did.
I thought he got stabbed in the dick.
Based on what she was describing, I'm like,
100%.
And it's man's folly.
I think it would have been better.
You're thinking with your dick the entire time.
I think it would have been better
if remove it.
Yeah, I think they were cowards.
You think
for not doing the dick stab?
I think they should have killed him.
Kill two.
Because that would have just what just happened.
Yeah, and then he hugs her after they stab, and he's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, they're Gucci.
Yeah, and they're like, "Okay, this is man's folly. We'll give the men a 45-second head start, and then these two chefs here are going to catch you."
I thought they were going to kill him.
Yeah,
me too.
Eventually. So one of the douche bros just takes off immediately, and he's like, "Well, okay, 45 seconds starts now." And John Leguizamo was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not a good person. I'll try to send help."
Not a good person.
Yeah, everyone tries to take off except for Tyler because he doesn't want to leave.
He's just standing there.
He wants the meal, and he's like, "You too."
The romantic in me wanted him to be staying because the women weren't being allowed to go, and so he was going to be staying with his date.
There's
no.
There's
I had that thought for 1 second, but then I saw his expression where it was like, I mean, why would I bother running?
Yeah. No expression at all was needed for me. Look at how he's acted up to this point towards her.
Yeah.
There's no real affection there.
I want the best out of people.
He already shown he was not the best. He's simply the worst. So they're like, yeah, you run too. So they all go take off a nice little hunt in the woods. And then the ladies get escorted back inside by the lady chef who stabbed the head chef to go have their own little course. Now, I missed over the part. So Margot did get to go into the chef's office to find out her decision. And he basically gets out of her, yeah, my name isn't Margot. It's, what is it, Daniel?
Aaron.
And she does recognize Richard, which I think this is kind of a small world thing. Like, what are the odds she gets on this same super exclusive thing with one of her clients? And she basically tells him that, yeah, he's paid me once to sit there and jerk off and then have me tell him, like, how great he is, and then sit there and say, like, I'm your daughter, I love you, Dad. It's very not
Knock
good.
that microphone over, Daniel. It's not good.
The chef is like, oh, wow, that's
very specific.
Certainly something. Yeah, then she's like, no, it's actually not that odd. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh.
But that's the part where we kind of get the point, we see the similarities between them. They both serve that upper elite class at this point. Like, so he's like, we're the same, you and I. So I've decided you are one of us.
Right.
So you are one of us. I got reminded of that because all the ladies go back in there and we're sitting around and the one lady's looking at Margot.
Yeah.
Because she's like, yeah, you know my husband.
Margot's like, yep.
Sure do. And then she tells him, my name's actually
Aaron.
And I'm from somewhere else. Not that it matters. The ladies get their own special meal while the men are out running. The Dungeness crab and the foam. And that sounded actually pretty good. And what I love here is we keep getting these cuts of the men running out in the woods. Two of them are running next to each other. One of them's like, don't run next to me. There's a lot of woods here. Go away. The magazine editor goes and hides in like the chicken coop.
Because he's a chicken.
He's a chicken. One guy makes it to a boat and starts pushing it out and gets snagged. They all get caught. The chicken coop guy is the last to get caught. And they're like, hey, you're the last to get caught. You get this little egg dessert thing. And he just like reluctantly takes it like, yeah, okay, you got me. But I was dying laughing. While they're all running around, Tyler is pressing his face up to the glass outside the dining room just to see what the women are eating.
Yes.
That's all that matters to him. So they get drugged back inside there, and he's immediately going over there as they're trying to take the food away, and he's trying to get it. Like, nope, let me have that. Let me have that.
Yeah.
Like, he would go through the trash for this food. Like, it is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. I agree.
And He just wants the food. That's all he just cares about.
Food, but the women are all eating with Elsa. Not Elsa. The
other... I don't think we ever get... Did we get her name?
He probably gives a name.
Is it Catherine? I'm guessing it's Catherine.
She starts having emotions, and everyone at the table is more uncomfortable with her showing emotions than literally anything else going on.
So they're like, no, this is a really good dish. Like, you're such a good chef. And then you're right. And then the food critic lady's like, yeah, you could have your own restaurant. I could help you with that.
That ain't gonna work, lady.
No, that ain't gonna fly.
They're all gonna die.
Everyone's placed back at their tables. There's a conversation over there with John Leguizamo and his assistant, and she's like, I've been stealing from you. And he's like, I know.
And she's like, I know you know.
Yeah, and he's like, I left you a negative recommendation with Sony. And she's
I know. You CC'd me on
it. Email. And has the chef expressed the reason he's killing them yet? John Leguizamo? We talked about it earlier, but that series,
it's coming up to it.
Was that before or after Tyler's little moment? It doesn't matter. Tyler gets special treatment. They bring in Tyler up there. It's like, yeah, you noticed the hint of something in the food. Like, you pulled that out. Like, that's impressive, Tyler.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm like, they're about to cook Tyler, aren't they? Like, I thought we were going to eat somebody.
So once I saw them putting the chef's apron on him, the chef's clothes on him, I'm like, I know exactly where this is going. And it does, and I love it.
Oh, it was so good. And the old lady's like,
teach us, Tyler. Come, we must all learn from Tyler. Gather around. Oh, I see. He's doing a chopping technique. We were, before
unknown with. Yeah,
hitherto unknown to us.
I like how the old lady's like, Mr. Handsome Boy when he puts it on.
Oh, God.
And that scene is exactly what I mean when I tell someone, hey, no pressure, everyone's watching. Like if we're at a bowling alley or something and they're about to go up there, I'm like, yeah, everyone's watching, no pressure. That's what happens. Some people freeze. I mean, it's stage fright. Some people freeze under that pressure. Do I believe he's a decent chef back home? Yeah. Do I believe he knows more about stuff than he can actually do? Yeah. He's an armchair quarterback who got put into the game, and he got fucking sacked.
So after he makes his fucking disaster of a meal, the chef whispers something into his ear. What do you think he whispered?
Something along the lines of, you will never be a chef. I do not like you. You ruined... Well, he did straight up tell him at one point, like, you ruin the magic of the food by sitting there telling everyone about it. Like, you ruin... Like, you are not helping anything. You bring down the enjoyment for everything. And then, like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You're not a real chef. Something along those lines.
I thought it was something similar where it's you are a talker. You will never be a doer.
Yeah. And I 100% called this... Yeah.
I thought he spoiled signs for him. Not signs. I fucked up my own joke. God damn it. Yeah.
You fucking...
Well, rewind. I'm sorry, what did you think, Daniel?
I thought he...
I thought he spoiled the happening.
I thought he spoiled Jurassic Park.
I know, droppings?
I thought he spoiled The Sixth Sense for him.
What happened in The Sixth Sense?
Keanu Reeves is a ghost.
Oh, shit. I totally called this... After he put him through this whole rigmarole of just embarrassing himself in front of everyone, telling him his food is shit, and he did the big, like, this is actually shit. And they actually throw up the title card.
Tyler's bullshit.
The thing where Tyler's bullshit. Undercooked lamb and all that stuff. After he talks to him, he's like, yeah, Tyler's just going to go kill himself. Apparently there was an alternate take in the script where he goes back there and he's stuck washing dishes like the rest of the night, like not allowed to participate, which I think might have been even more cruel.
That would have been great.
For him. But just figured, him being basically shut down by what is probably his biggest cooking idol.
It would have been good if he had been left out of the suicide, too.
He had to just survive knowing he didn't get to finish the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
live with that, you donkey.
Yeah.
Then,
yeah.
So now the chef is, I think because what you said earlier, Kenny, where they're both serving people of such high status that he's recognizing a kindred spirit somehow. And so now he's having Margot go out to get a barrel.
Which, why? Because Elsa is his hostess. She is his right hand outside of the kitchen.
You got it. Yeah. She takes care of the clients.
Elsa's like, he blames Elsa for forgetting it. And later, after Elsa confronts Margot,
she's like, he never told me. I didn't forget. The chef never told me. So Elsa is basically like thinking, or tells Margot, you are not going to replace me.
Right. And so they
have a little knife-foo.
Yeah, when Margot finds the barrel, there's a knife on it. She takes that and then she sets it down because she's trying to break into the chef's residence.
I think it's him giving her an out, a path to tread down to prove herself that she's worthy of getting out alive.
Or, well, no, he was still going to kill her, but that she's worthy of dying on the right side. I don't think at any point in time until...
No, because even when she brings the barrel back, he still tells her to sit down with them.
Well, that's because she let him down, I think.
Well...
Oh, no. She hasn't let him down yet. You're right.
That yet. Well, so when she went to go get the barrel is supposed to be next to the meat house?
The smokehouse, yes. The smokehouse.
But we... in the first scene when we went past the smokehouse, Tyler points out that that's where the chef lives, wants to go in there, of course, because he's a toxic fanboy. So Margot goes in, and his house is basically a kitchen, dining room, restaurant, and a bed.
Yep.
Yeah, so he lives the life, man. That's just him.
He never escapes from it.
And then there's a little back room that we're not into yet. And that's when, Elsa confronts her there. Like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not going to replace me. They fight. Margot shoves the knife through Elsa's throat.
Yeah.
And then she gets into Chef's private quarters in the back there and sees some pictures on the wall of him throughout the ages, him real young, smiling like Chef of the Month, holding up a burger because he worked at a burger shack. She finds a ham radio and radios for help, and then makes her way back to the dining area with the barrel.
Kicks that barrel right into the room.
And she's covered in blood now, too.
That part still gets it. I don't really understand why he did that. I mean, you think it's because he wanted to see if she would run.
Or maybe he didn't
like
expect Elsa to follow her.
But I think he would know if he did or didn't tell her or something. I think he was negging Elsa for some reason, but I don't know what. Maybe there was a mutant baby that she had that got cut, like there were scenes. Or maybe Elsa's half goblin.
Huh?
I don't know. Either way, Elsa's gone, which sucks. She was fantastic. I also wondered, this same movie, but it's an Applebee's.
Go on.
Like, imagine them trying to talk this classy about shit you get at Applebee's. Like, appetizer, here's your boneless wings. Now, you ask me, how is that possible? Chicken has bones.
No, chef, I didn't ask.
No, well, we take all the scrap meat and beaks and giblets and stuff that you're not gonna eat normally on the good parts over here, and we mash it all up, and we cover it in the breading, and we fry it with so much fucking oil, and we drench it in sauce, and you eat it up with a gallon of ranch, you fat little piggy. That is,
yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Applebee's boneless wings are pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
Food is food.
The entree, like, I got the mac and cheese as a side. Like, yeah, we pulled that out of the freezer and we boiled the mac in the water. But like, I want them taking this high class approach with
we salted the water
food.
with the finest of dollar store salt. Epsom
You know that
salts.
Morton girl with the umbrella? That's her.
We got the water to a good boiling to where it was splashing off the sides, and Charles over there slipped on the floor because he's never wearing his good shoes.
I'm just saying, at least two separate parts of this movie, I'm thinking this movie is perfect for just some sort of parody. Get the Wayans brothers out, let them get their hands on this. I would die laughing. I think it'd be hilarious with just any kind of just shitty-ass food. That's all I'm saying.
Margot called radio CB'd out for help. Apparently she reached someone because when they get back, there's a giant honk honk from a boat. And then the chef says...
they got there quick.
Yeah, I didn't catch how quick that was.
It was very
felt
quick
to me.
It was very quick.
I was just like, I'm watching the movie.
Well, I guess we don't know how
time.
long it took her to get the barrel back over there, right?
Yeah,
that's fair.
But the chef's like, okay, prepare the kitchen, and then they start making all the guests cleaning up the guests, cleaning up their blood. They put a napkin on Margot's top to cover that, or the top of her, which is covered in blood. And they're like, okay, someone's gonna come in. You get to decide if they live or die.
Yeah, do you want an innocent man to die because you asked for help?
Because you asked for help.
We can't let them leave.
Because we're all gonna die.
So he doesn't have
right?
to.
So
you know,
big burly salty
boat patrol comes in there.
Yeah, and checking out. Everyone's like, no, we're fine, all good. And then he spots out, hey,
like,
aren't you that actor?
Yeah, aren't you John Leguizamo?
Weren't you Luigi? Yeah. Oh,
I was in
Mario.
Under Siege too. You're correct.
Can I?
He's like, yeah.
Chef's like, go.
Chef's like,
get
you want his autograph?
Go get an autograph now.
Oh no, I couldn't.
I instantly
that had me
knew
suspicious.
what Leguizamo was doing.
we all
knew. I knew it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, you're you're sending a message that says help, right?
And the chef is too smart. He put him in that situation. So I'm really, at this point, I'm like, something else is up. The chef would not give him an easy way to give a message to that guy and let him walk out.
Right.
I didn't know what.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be more suspicious if the chef was like, nah?
Well, but the chef was the one who offered. He said, hey, do you want his autograph?
Oh,
he didn't ask for his autograph.
You're right.
That's why I was like, what the fuck?
Delete my previous comment.
Yeah, you look like a
Strike
fool.
it from the record.
So he's like, I don't have a pen. And the chef, they straight up bring him a pen and paper. It's like, okay, this feels wrong.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if it was already written on the paper that they give him?
Yeah. Like, well, I guess I'll give it to them. And he starts walking out. I don't even see him open the paper. He just immediately pulls out the gun.
No, he opens it.
He looks. It
shows
says, help
it.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have blinked. Delete that. I look stupid now.
Oh, sweetheart.
Oh.
What do you mean just now?
Yeah, he starts pointing.
Oh, sweetheart.
You donkey.
You donkey.
Sommelier? Yeah, so he points the gun around, tells the chef, get down on his knees, and he starts pointing the gun around, like, what the heck? And then he points it down at their table, and then he points it at the candle, and he pulls the trigger, and it's a lighter. And then the staff is, like, applauding, like, hey, great job.
So I know the chef is gonna...
It was Dale.
Is gonna murder everybody at the end of this meal. It's basically what's gonna happen. But this is where I'm like, why are you being... You're being mean.
Well,
yeah,
also,
he hates these people.
Well,
if
no, but
he
like
hadn't
specifically
made the call,
at John Leguizamo's, you're just being a dick.
Well, he didn't
to
like
him.
that movie.
And I'm like, but we
hated
find
that
out
movie.
why, right? Like, I think John Leguizamo's character is like, what did I do to you? Like, you ruined my one day off.
My one day off in a month. That movie.
Chef's a little petty.
He is a little
He's
petty.
hella petty.
Little petty. But then
if
it's what you
she
said,
had never
Dave.
made the call, would that guy have sat on the boat while everything else exploded?
Probably. Because that's
Or
the thing.
would he have
They
come
had
in
that-
for the grand finale?
Would he have showed up and they'd have been like, hey,
He just wouldn't have
what's
been
going
dressed
on
like that.
here?
He would have slipped into the kitchen.
I think so.
Might have already been in the kitchen and they didn't pay attention because they're elitist snobs.
Oh,
That would have been
I wonder if he
something
was.
that would have been nice.
Oh,
I wonder if he
we
was.
Go
already
back
already
and look,
snobs.
see if he's in the background.
Yeah.
That could have been something nice that Margot could have noticed. Like, wait, hold on. And like she flashes back and sees him in the kitchen and we're like, oh shit. And then it's too late.
I don't think they would do like a flashback.
But you know what? Okay, the chef is petty. He's also hilarious. He brought them out a birthday cake. And the dude's like, did you tell him it was my birthday?
It seemed like
The
a
other
good
dude's
idea
like,
3 hours ago.
3 hours ago. Thought it'd be funny. They still rolled with it. That's hilarious because they knew when his birthday was. They would have known it was fake. They still did it.
Oh, you don't think it was his birthday?
I don't think it was his birthday. I think they were just saying, because he's like, I thought it would have been funny 3 hours ago. Like when people are like, yeah, it's their birthday. They don't ID you. You can get a free churro at any Mexican restaurant and have a song sung for you at any point in time.
Right.
They're doing that.
They're basically saying, you guys, all of you people think you're so important that whatever you're doing, that it matters so much. We are taking the piss out of you by going, oh yeah, here you go. You are not peasants, and that's why you're not getting bread.
I did not see this coming for the sequel to Pretty Woman. Margot says what I've been saying this whole time.
I send it
I'm
back.
still hungry. The chef has expressed like he has no passion for the cooking anymore. None of it makes him happy anymore. She was in his thing. She's seen the last time he was smiling while cooking was making the burger. She says, I send it back. Your food is not good.
There's no love in it.
There's love in all we cook. Yes, there is, chef. And she's like, no, you are misguided. There's obsession in it. She's like, I want something else. What do you want? She said, what do you have? Everything. I want a cheeseburger. And not some like deconstructed cheeseburger. I want a real cheeseburger. $9.99. She's like, does that come with fries? Crinkle cut or...
Julian?
And it cuts to him back there just working out these perfect meatballs. Like he's making this beautiful basic cheeseburger.
And he's smiling.
Oh yeah, she says American cheese. And he says American cheese is the perfect cheese for a cheeseburger because it
Doesn't split when it gets hot.
which he's right. It's a great cheese for a cheeseburger. Yeah, so he's back. He's making love to this thing, and yeah, he's smiling, and it's like, oh shit, did she crack the code? He makes it, sets it down there. This thing looks great. Do you see the amount of sesame seeds on that bun? That's what I want on every single sesame bun I ever get. That was a perfect cheeseburger. He squishes it down. The grease coming out of this thing. I'm Tyler right now for this cheeseburger. I am.
Yes, we're all Tyler for
Everywhere.
this cheeseburger.
All over. I'm just like, oh my god, that looked so good. She takes a bite. And she says,
Really good, but my eyes are bigger than my appetite. And I get it to go.
and he's like flabbergasted for a second. And he's like, yeah. Puts it in a little to-go container, comes back, has that, and a gift bag. She pulls out $10 puts it on the table. He lets her get up and start walking out to leave. She turns to look at everyone else. The old lady kind of gives her the motion like, just go. Like, the rest of them are resigned to their fates at this point. Like, they're not fighting. They're sitting there. They're just taking it. And she walks out the door.
In this scene, Margot has put the chef into a trance. Ooh. So, because she's an escort and she's used to... This is going to be my barbarian speech about playing into the fantasy.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think I know where you're going. I'm into it.
So, an escort, so her job is to be the fantasy for someone else. That's the service she provides. And now she knows exactly what fantasy, what service he needs. So, it's hamburger, the fries... Even asking him how much is it, she puts $10 on there to let him relive the fantasy. And so when she's saying to go, which is, I mean, who hasn't gotten a burger to go, right? He is now no longer really there. He's reliving a fantasy and letting her be a client of old to leave. That's why she gets to live.
Because if
go even further in
your
barbarian thing, kind of like charmed him like a
donkey.
She was doing this unintentionally a lot of the movie because she wasn't buying into the food stuff and everything. He was straight up struggling. He's like, why aren't you impressed with my food? He already wanted to do it. So his menu was changing because he also had a goal of like he needed to somehow get her to appreciate his cooking. Yeah. And when he straight up said, like, there's no one I've ever, like, I don't want to cook for anyone more. She eventually became that. And then when she realized she could specifically use the cheeseburger, she was able to really, like, hone in on that fucking fantasy of his. Like, that, you're 100% right, Ryan. Like, I don't think that's a deep dive. You're not taking the crazy pills.
Like, for this movie, there is no deep dive.
Like, it's there.
It is all very much, and that's kind of what the message of this movie is sometimes you don't need the overcomplicated bullshit. Don't make a meal for the critic. Don't make a meal for the people who aren't going to appreciate it. Just make a meal that you enjoy making.
That you would enjoy.
And and the people who want it are going to come to it. And they're going to love it.
And that's a perfect message. So she gets to leave. She's going to her boat. They bring out gift bags for everyone else to start dessert. And I love that they mention to Richard and Anne, the old people, his finger is in the gift bag for theirs. They come out and he starts talking about s'mores. They've got this.
Oh my God. It's so good.
Graham crackers everywhere. They're smearing the chocolate smear and the marshmallows. They put these marshmallow, like,
vests,
I don't know, like
little shawl things on them.
On each person, made out all the marshmallows. They put a little chocolate hat on them. The chef's out there in the middle. There's these giant marshmallows on sticks with a big, campfire type setup in the middle. And he's going on about s'mores, but he's talking about how they're just, everyone loves them and they're supposed to represent childhood, but there's these processed, refined sugar bullshit. I'm getting offended because before that, I'm like, my kids would love this. So I'm like, this is where I'm off, chef. We're not on the same page anymore, buddy. I love s'mores. You stop.
He brings it back, though. He brings it back.
Yeah, he brings it back. But that's the part where you realize these people are believing what he's saying at this point. They're sitting there and kind of crying. They know they're about to get burned alive. They are sitting there and taking it. At no point in time still do they actually put up any sort of resistance.
Have they all whipped out their credit cards
yet?
Yeah, that was before they got the shawls on. It's
time to pay the bill.
They still, Like,
what?
They're going through all the motions.
You guys!
So are they under the trance at this point? They have experienced the menu. They have reached the culmination of his story, and they're just, this is it. We'll sit here.
Well, they are takers, and so now they're just going to continue taking what the chef is giving them.
Lie back and take it.
They're just going to take it.
Yeah, and that's insane.
And we're going to use the transformative element of fire.
He grabs, before he walks over out in the middle, he grabs the hot coal straight out of the oven, and he's just holding it in his hand.
He's got asbestos hands.
Like any good chef, I don't feel shit in these anymore. Which I knew a baker who could do that. He could just take the metal rack out of the oven with no oven mitts. And he was proud of this fact. I don't really think that's something to be proud of because oven mitts exist and there's really no shame in using them.
Yeah, just because you don't feel pain doesn't mean you're not still causing damage.
Oh, the nerves are long dead.
Yeah.
Well,
so they're all set on fire. They're cooking there. The sous chefs turn on the gas burners.
Chocolate's melting down their eyes.
Oh my God. And they're all, God, that's great. Margot got her boat started, so she's out on the boat, and she's just going along, not captaining the boat at all, eating the burger, wipes her face with the menu, which I was like, okay, that's a nice touch. and then the place blows up. You see the flames in her eyes.
That was a beautiful shot.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. That was fun.
Okay, there's a theory that Margot is going to die because the movie gives a lot of reference to that the meat with the bacteria in it.
Yeah.
And so the theory goes that the chef used that meat to serve her, and it has the bacteria in it, and so she's going to die.
But I thought the bacteria wasn't really going to be an issue until day 153.
That's what I thought too. I'm just saying.
I think that was a joke.
I don't think it was. I think I think it's like eating blowfish.
Right,
like,
but
if it's not prepared
stuff
properly,
like
you'll
that.
die.
It's not like 153 is not a magic number, and then magically the bacteria suddenly is there, right?
Correct. It's a guesstimate.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see it. I don't think he would have had that thought if he was going to be reliving the best times he was ever cooking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this movie. This is a good,
oh yeah, hell yeah,
well-made cheeseburger.
You want to hear about an alternate ending?
Hit me.
So
if I said no, what were you going to do?
I was going to tell you anyway. So in the script, the alternate ending was the fire crew is running through the place and they find the room with the silver door still intact. They open the door and they find the chef's head and hands plated.
How would he have done that?
I guess one of the chefs or someone would have done, or we would have just been left with the mystery.
Who would have put it there? No, stupid, dumb, bad.
So they would have,
yeah, awesome.
In that one, they kill the chef and then they set the place on fire. Ooh, which would have worked.
I think if they kill the chef, the spell is gone.
That ending would have just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I will rewatch this maybe one more time soon, and then maybe every now and then, every couple years, but it's not like a super fun.
I think it'd be a fun thing to watch while you're cooking.
It'd be a good thing to watch while you're cooking. I think it'd be a good thing to show people, because it's not like a pure banger if I can rewatch it all the time.
I'm not going to give it a score. I'm just going to say it's delicious.
Oh,
Jesus.
If you like this movie, what would you recommend?
Parasite.
Okay.
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion. There's a South Park episode about people who leave reviews about restaurants. It's all about boogers and cum. All right. All right. And so if you watch that, it just fits perfectly with the theme of this.
Boogers and cum.
I don't know if that's the name of the episode, but it might be one of the little jingles they do. Just it's like South Park, boogers and cum.
Strange Days. That's the one I want you to watch with Ralph Fiennes. It's a 1995 like sci-fi crime drama. It is so trippy. It is so good. Check that out. Okay, folks. Let me pull you to the side real quick here. Let's have a little talk. Let's have a little talk about our next episode. The fantastic, the hilarious, the fantastically hilarious film Werewolves Within. If you haven't seen this, you need to get out and see it right now. If you have seen this, you need to go watch it again, because why wouldn't you? Okay, we're going to have a great time with this one. Everybody's going to love it. Show it to your mom. Show it to your dad. Show it to your fake Canadian girlfriend. And then invite them to sit down and listen with you. Because that's right, folks. We need to get those numbers up. So tell your friends. Tell everyone. We're coming. And we're going to infect you. Just, with a good infection. I don't know what the positive infection. We're going to be like a bug that gets in you but makes you better. You're going to be nope, I got no good examples there. That's on me. I'll workshop it. Don't worry about it. Just, pretend I was never here. Okay, well, let's wipe our faces off, boys. Let's tip the waiters, and let's not go to a judgy restaurant like this and be sad because we're uncultured swines. And let's get on out of here, fellas. So, as always, I'm your still very hungry host, Kenny.
I've been your idiot sandwich, Daniel.
I'm Ryan.
You donkey.
Bye-bye.